So today it's going to be a little bit more, let's say, chill presentation. If you want to ask something in the meanwhile, you can write it down. Hopefully somebody will say it and we will answer you directly. We are not so many people today, so we can also do this. I will share my screen so you can all see what I'm doing. And we will go through three main questions that most of you had. So let's see what is the first question. The first question says, the Cura software allows the use of customized supports, requiring the installation of a plugin. How to install and use? So that's a great question. Why is it a great question? Because when Cura decides to put supports on your model, it understands the angles of your model, the geometry of your model, and decides, let's say, that I have to put some supports on this place here or at this angle, and I don't need to put at that angle because why? Because it's now more than, let's say, 45 degrees angle here, so I don't need supports. I can print layer by layer. The problem here is that when your model is very, let's say, not so simple, let's say, very complicated, that's the word I was searching for, you will need, let's open Cura. So when your model is complicated, the problem is that Cura is not, let's say, so clever to understand exactly where to put the supports. So what will happen is that it will add supports everywhere, and it's going to be very hard to not to print it, but to remove the supports afterwards. So I've prepared an example for you. Some of you may know the Marvel character Iron Man. So this is a very interesting model because it doesn't really need many supports, because as you can see, it starts from here, the legs, then goes up. So basically where we need the supports is at this hand here, on the bottom here, and on this hand right here. The thing is that if I decide, let's say, to print it, and I say, okay, I decide, let's say, super quality and stuff, and I say to Cura, please generate supports with the support overhand of 45%, as we said, I will slice the model. And what is going to happen, you will see it in a minute, let's wait. Less than a minute, hopefully. This is kind of a big model, so it needs a little bit more time to slice. So if we go to the preview here, preview, you can see that my supports are basically everywhere. These blue lines are all supports. So if I print it, most probably what I will see is just a weird geometry of plastic. And of course, it's going to be very hard to put all those supports away from the model without ruining the geometry of the model. So what I want to do here is find the exact places that I want to put my supports and put my supports there. So what I have to do is to actually install a plugin for Cura, which is here on the marketplace. That's how it's called. So I click on the marketplace and I go to plugins. It needs some time to open the community plugins. So be patient. Come on. Okay. And what I want to download is the custom supports plugin. So if I click here, it says installed because I have already installed it. But for you, you will click install here. And by itself, it's a very easy procedure. And then you will just have to restart the Ultimaker Cura program, and you will have the plugin. Since we are here, let's download. Let me tell you what you will need to download also. Well, you know what? Let's stay here and we will go through the other ones after that. So since you have downloaded your custom supports, you go here. And now, instead of just the align and move tool, you have the custom supports tool. You click on the custom supports and you have two options. The third option is just to donate some money to the developer. So you have cube and cylinder. What I want is to drop the build plate down, because if I don't build the build plate down, this is going to happen. I just create a cube when I click here. So I click drop to build plate. So when I click here, it goes all the way down to the bottom of my print. So basically I just created a support now, and I can either use cube or I can click on the cylinder and have a cylindrical design of support. And the other thing I want to have clicked is a wider base. So if I click here and then click here, what I can see, the two differences between my cylinders is that the one is straight, it goes straight up and it has the same diameter everywhere, but here it looks like let's say a knife, because it starts with a bigger cylinder on the bottom and the smaller one. So this way, what happens is that it holds by itself. It's not easy to fall down when it starts printing. So I want those two to be clicked. And now what I can do is either, let me delete those and go once again. What I want to do now is either find, so what I didn't tell you is that the red, you will know where the problem is with supports when you see the red color, because where the red color is where the angle is more than 45 degrees. So you will know that here I will need support, here I will need support, here maybe I will need support, maybe not. You will just have to decide. Now, let's focus on the main places. So when I click anywhere on the red part, even on the yellow, the support goes exactly where I pointed. So I can actually start clicking on the model and putting supports where I want to put them, and do it like that. And I have added supports for my hand. So this is one thing I can do. The other thing I can do is to actually manipulate the support as if it was a second model, let's say. So I have my support here. I can scale it, not uniformly, and start changing, let's say, the width, maybe rotate it. Let me rotate it like that. Wait, no, mistake. Clicking here, now rotate. No, mistake again. Now rotate. Okay. Move it like that. And now hopefully you have the support, let's say, that you want to have. What I would suggest is the first method, because you will see that the program knows how the supports will combine with each other. So for example, if I start clicking here everywhere, okay, click. So if I have this, for example, and start slicing, no problem. It will understand that this whole thing is one support type. So it will very easily translate it to a support. What I want you to have in mind, oh, sorry, let me cancel that. What I want you to have in mind is that before before adding the supports, you can have this generate support button unclicked, so like that, and change everything here. So whatever you change here on the grid, on the lines, I want it to go zigzag, for example. It also applies to your supports that you have added, but you have to unclick it. You generate it before you slice your model, because if you keep it clicked, it will start supporting the whole model like the previous time I added the supports. When you saw that there were so many supports that we couldn't actually manipulate the model. Now, if I go to preview, I have just the supports I want, which is those. And that these are my supports. And if I go like here, you can see that it looks like one support module, let's say one support part. So there is no need to go and try to change orientation. You just click on the points that you want it to be clicked, and that's it. So what I want here is maybe this this support here, some support on the bottom of the part, like that, some supports on this hand, and some supports on the head. Now, if I click on the head here, what will happen is that it will go all the way to the bottom. I don't want that. So what I want, is to put, let's say, a little bit of support right here, so it will hold the head of the model. So what I want is not to drop to build plate this time. I click here and there it is. I just added it. And now if I slice again, this is basically what my model will look like when I print it. So if I decided to print this model, this would be probably the supports I would add. Now, on places like this, or like this, for example, want to be super accurate, you will have to the preview and check out those places right here, let's say, and see if you can see green parts. As you can see, there are no green parts here, so there is no problem. Now, if you see green parts, for example, I think the previous time there were some green parts here. Green lines, sorry, I meant green lines. So if you see some green lines right here, for example, there it is. This is where you need support, because you will go the printer will start printing this layer, and then when it starts printing this layer, it starts printing on top of nothing, basically. So what you will need here is some supports. As you can see, you have supports in order to print it. So what I mean by that, or here, for example, now this is a problem. You will have to put supports here because it will print nowhere. So this is an easy way to understand where you need supports. You have to find the green lines. The green lines that basically no red line is on top of another red line. No outer line is on top of another outer line. Here again, you will need support. So yeah, you will have to fix that. So basically you will have to, again, click some boxes here, let's say, or here. And that's it. And of course, your support, you will need to go to be supported somewhere. And don't forget to unclick that. Don't forget that you can change everything here, and whatever changes here changes to your supports here also. And then you need to unclick them. So this is my, let's say, my personal preference when I decide to add supports. And this is how I do it most of the time because it's easy and it's actually very useful. And of course, if you haven't seen it, you, of course, it takes much less time when you add supports by yourself, because the previous time it took, like, let's say, 2.5 days to print, and now it took 1.5 days. So you just I just saved 1 day for myself. Now, the second thing I want you to download if you want to add custom supports is, again, of course, on the marketplace. And it, find it, where is it? Cylindric custom support. This is a plugin I would like you to add. And I will just showcase some interesting custom supports, freeform, that's how they call it, supports that it has. So let me add a support test. Okay, no need for you to download that. Let me make it bigger a little bit so you will all know. All right. So let's say that this is the part, this is my part right here. What I need is to add supports at each of those corners. So again, like the custom supports, the Cura Slicer added one more plugin, which is the custom support cylinder this time, and you have some options. Again, you have the cylinder, like the previous one. You have the cylinder with inner hole. So if you have something like this that needs an inner hole, you can click here, and as you can see, it fills all by itself. I think that, sorry for this. So if I click here and I change the size, I think that it also changes when I applied it. Yes. And now you have your cylinder right here. You can move it, of course, like the previous ones. You can put it here, and now you have covered the red part that you need to print. Okay, this needs a little bit adjustment, but you understand the whole process. Now there's no need for any more supports here. Now, the most important, though, thing with cylindrical supports are the freeform supports. Let's say the most used is the bridge. Why? Because you can actually click here and create a bridge which will not intersect with your model. Adjust the bridge, of course. Sorry. no uniform. Okay, adjust the bridge like that. That, and there it is. You have your bridge, and you can actually support your model. Yes, of course, you will need one more bridge. But this is basically what you do with this support. We can create supports that will not touch your model and will not ruin, let's say, the surface of your model when you stop printing. This is a great way. Also, you can find on the freeform some like Arch batteries that is the same thing, but on the one side only. So if I click here, I have to rotate it like that, for example, and I can create supports like that. And in my opinion, I would suggest you play with those. There's some more things, like for example, let me add bridge test. Okay. For example, you have this model, and you want to put some supports here. Sorry. You can actually find the section support, which will do something like that. Sections of prints, and you will have your supports like that. You can have the star, the cross, sorry. So if you have a cross like that, you can use the cross. And basically, these are freeform types of supports that you can use when you are in need of, let's say, a more sophisticated type of support, instead of just this cylinder, for example. So keep that in mind. Of course, as you can see, this cylinder takes much more material instead of this one. This one is much smaller, so you may prefer this one for time, in order to save time and material. And basically, this was the first thing I wanted to show you for the supports. Hopefully, you have no problem adding the custom supports now on Cura. Any questions? Or should I continue to the next question? Okay, I think there's no questions. Let me check the chat. No questions. All right. Let's move to the next question then. Question 2. Some objects have a lot of detail. Printing can be difficult. What do you need to consider to print more detailed parts? Okay, so for this one, I prepared some possible things that you can do to actually make your prints more accurate and decrease the level of detail. The first thing, and the easiest one, is the layer height. So as you can see on the picture, the shorter the height, the better the quality of your prints. And this is easily understandable if you see this picture right here. The problem here is that you can see the changes from layer to layer. Here, it's much harder to understand the change of the model, and of course, it's easier to. It's much better for the quality of the print. The thing that you have to do in order to change the height is, of course, just change the quality here. So instead of just low quality, standard quality of 0.2, you make it a, let's say, super quality of 0.12, and so on and so on. So there is no need to change anything else here. Of course, you can create your custom profile, as we said on the previous webinars, but basically, this is one way to change your layer. Now, second way, the nozzle size. Most of you may not know it, but the nozzle size makes a major difference on the accuracy of your prints. So I have prepared some photos for you. As you can see here, the nozzle size is 0.25. This is a 0.40. So as you can see, as the size gets bigger, as the size of the nozzle gets smaller, the accuracy of the print gets better and better. You can see the difference. For here, for example, you have 0.4 and 0.25, a smaller nozzle. As you can see here, the level of detail is much better than here, that we have some problems here, some over extrusions maybe. It's much better here than here, because I go with a smaller nozzle and print better. Now, the problem here with a smaller nozzle is that you have significantly longer print times. And basically, this is to make a fast analogy. If, for example, you have a 0.2 nozzle instead of a 0.4, this is half of the 0.4 nozzle. So it will take twice the time to print. That's easily understandable. So with a 0.25 nozzle, you may need almost twice the time to print a model, but you have twice the quality of your print. Also, there is higher risk of nozzle getting clogged, because of course you print for twice the time, and some filaments are not compatible with those nozzles, because they contain large particles and they can't go through the nozzle. And of course, on the pros, you have better looking printing tests, you have better resolutions, and easy to remove supports, which is great if you hate supports like me. Now, the other thing on the nozzle is that you have to know that the quality of the design of the nozzle matters a lot. What I mean by that is that there are nozzles that cost €2 and there are nozzles that cost €20. Why is that? It's because that they have been designed, even on the inside, they have been manufactured, let's say, that's the better word. They have been manufactured with more accuracy. So when they extrude the filament, the flow of the filament is perfect. It's much better than this here, that you can understand that it actually creates a rough surface instead of a perfect flow. So keep that in mind. In my opinion, you can actually find on the market great nozzles for 10 or 12 euros, and this is my go-to choice, because when I decided to change that, it actually changed the quality of your prints forever just for 10 euros. So keep that in mind. The third thing is the cooling fan. I've learned it the hard way. So basically, the better the cooling, you can see on this picture right here, this is pretty self-explanatory. Let me make it bigger for you. You can actually understand here that when it cools, if the filament pulls the exact perfect time, which is the exact time that it goes out of your nozzle, then you won't have these types of problems. And of course, there are custom cooling systems that you can actually print on your printer and then install it on your printer and make your cooling systems better just by printing some parts on your printer and adding them on your printer. So basically the printer gets better by itself this way, and I would actually suggest it. Let's say some more things that you can make your quality better. The outer walls is one thing. So basically the quality of your print is how you print the outer walls of your parts the best way possible. And what you have to do with your outer walls is just reduce the speed that you print your outer walls. So when it prints the inside of the part, do I have any? No, I don't have any. Let me add iron on again. So I can basically show you what I mean by that. No supports, okay. So when you print the outer wall, you need to go slower so the nozzle will not do fast movements and ruin the printing. So if I go here, what I want you to understand is that, for example, when I print here, when I print this orange part, I don't really care because I can go fast, print, and maybe I have some problems here. I didn't print on top of each other. I don't care because nobody sees that part. What everybody sees is the outer walls, the red part. So I have to go slowly print the red part around so that I won't have problems like this, for example, like this one. This can happen if you go fast and you don't cool it on the right position. So keep that in mind. Don't go very fast when you print your outer walls. And there are some more things like the extrusion system. You have a direct extrusion system. It's much better for the quality because there is no let's say difference between the cold end and the hot end. Those two are basically grouped together. So when it goes through the gear, it goes exactly on your nozzle. One other thing is tight belts. Like this is a belt here. So go on your printer and actually touch your printer, touch the belts of your printer. And if they feel loose, then try to tighten them. One of the most important things is a good quality filament. My opinion is, guys, don't buy a filament that costs 10 euros. Is the cheapest filament in the market and prints city. I would mostly prefer to pay twice the price and actually make good prints and create better results. And the last thing is to adjust the temperatures. One reminder is that you will have to always look on your filament and know what the temperatures are, the recommended ones, and use those temperatures. And maybe a little bit readjustment is fine if you want to create the perfect print. And the last thing that is that if nothing works, you can always buy a new printer. You can always pay twice the money, and the better your printer, of course, the better the quality. Because at the end, guys, the thing is that in order to achieve better quality prints, you can change everything on your printer, from the nozzle to the filament to the PCB. Everything can be changed, and actually even the software can be changed, and you can import a better software on your printer and make better prints. So there is no stop on that. There is no stop. Basically, you can search. If you start searching on Google, you can see multiple things that you can change on your printer in order to make the accuracy and the details better and better and better. In my opinion, the two most important things are the nozzle quality, the nozzle size, if you want to go better, the height, of course, which is the easiest one. And yes, this is it. The cooling, of course, but cooling, if you have a fine printer, there won't be such a problem. And yes, these are the basic things. Questions? Any question? No? Okay. Okay, the last one. The last one is two programs to produce lithophane photos. Oh, sorry. No, this is the answer. The question is, detailed images of photographs of people can be 3D printed. How to shape a face in 3D? Starting from a photo, what are the best programs? Okay. So let's say that you want to print an image. You can actually, there is a technique which is called lithophane, that you can actually print an image, put a light behind the image, and have this result. How this happens? Basically what happens is that on those points that are black, that are darker, let's say, you add more material. So on the eye part, you have a thicker material instead, let's say, of this part here, which is not that dark. And how can you do that? This is basically very simple. Let me close Cura for now. There are two basic programs that you can find on the Google. The first one is called 3DPRox, and this is the one I prefer. That you can actually click here, and you are now on the 3DPRox interface. And let's say that I want to create this lion on a lithophane, as a lithophane picture. So I will go to the images here, choose files, and click my lion, and there it is. Is it ready? No, it's not ready. What do I need to do? The most important thing before exporting the STL file in order to print it is going to the settings, model settings, and always, image settings, and always go from negative image to positive image. because what I told you is that you want your dark part, like the eye, for example, to be thicker and not the other way around. So if I refresh now, the eye gets thicker and the other parts around it get slimmer. So now I basically have my picture ready. I can always change the design, so you have some options here. Like my favorite one is the inner curve. So if I click inner curve and click refresh, there it is. This is the inner curve. No, sorry, my favorite one is the outer curve. So this way you can put a bulb behind it here, and you can light your lion. And okay, let me show you the settings here. You can change the model settings and the image settings. So for example, you can change the border. Don't make it too much. Don't make it, let's say, 30 millimeters. Because if I go now here and refresh it, this is what would happen. This will pick your border. Don't do that. Model settings. Okay, so let's keep it in a fairly good, let's say 2 millimeters are fine. That's 2, come on. You can change the thinnest layer, you can change the maximum size of your print, you can change a lot of things. Keep the vectors per pixel 4, this is fine. And yes, you can play with it. There are not many things, as you can see, there are not too many things to change, okay? The most important thing here is to make your image positive. Let me see if there is anything else that I want to tell you. Is there anything else? It's negative. Oh, yes. One more thing, one more important thing. As you can see on the model here, let me refresh that. The model is ready, and if I download it, so I click here, download. Now I have my stage here. I have to real computer. Okay, I have my stage here. Lion 1. Okay. Now, if I import it, this is my print, and it can stand by itself, and I can start printing whatever I want. There is no problem here. Now, if I decided to print it flat, let's refresh, I would have this STL. So I would have to download it. And this time, let's call it Lion 2. Let me import it. And now it's laying flat. So you may think that, oh, yes, why not? I will start printing it because it has a flat surface on the bottom. And then it has some small mountains here and here, like a small map. So yes, why not? I would print it and I don't need any supports. No, don't think like that. Don't think like that. Because this time, yes, you are right, you don't need supports, but the problem here is that the level of, if I slice it, And if I slice it with a standard quality, come on. So if you slice it, you may understand that I have 20 layers of prints. 20 layers is not a lot. So if I start on top of each other, the problem is going to be that I won't have a very good quality print because I have just, let's say that there are how many? Okay, this is where it starts. So I've already printed 5 layers. So I have approximately 15 layers in order to create this type of accuracy to produce the line. 15 layers is not much. The problem that will occur is this one, like the quality that we said before, this one. If I don't have many layers, there is not a good quality. So what I need to do, instead of printing it flat, I will have to rotate it like that and print it vertically. Now what happens is the level of detail here is much better because I have a lot of layers to print it, layer by layer by layer by layer by layer. And the level of quality is much better this way. I don't have just 15 layers. I have 300 layers to create a very good accuracy. So always keep that in mind. Never print it flat because it's a waste of time, basically. And yes, now you can go to the 3DP Rocks and start playing with your points and your photos. Now, instead of 3DP Rocks, you can also use itslethal.com. This is another way to to create your lithophane images. And it basically works the same way. So you have to click Get Started. And now you go to the UI of the itslethal.com. Again, you upload your image, click Upload for litho, open. And now if you go back to the model, you have your lion. As you can see, itslethal.com makes it easier to understand where you have what, if this makes sense. For example, here on the eyes, you may understand that here I have the darkest place, so I have to make it thicker, for example, or on the nose, or on this part right here, there is no need to make thick surfaces, so it's basically flat. Again, you have to keep in mind that, where is it? That you want a positive image, as we said before. So keep that clicked like that. Itslethal.com has it already positive, so we don't need to change anything. Of course, you can change some things like the thickness of the part of the print. Like, for example, if you want to make a more, let's say, if you have a very shiny light, you can maximize the thickness like that. You can make it more thick. But I would suggest not to go that far, because, for example, if I make it 15, look what happens. Okay. This is not lithophane anymore, I think. So keep that in mind. And yes, now you can again, of course, you can export it. So you can click download. Lithophane is ready as it says. So if I click lithophane, hopefully, yes, there it is. There it is, another STL model that I can always drag it on Cura like that. And there it is. There is my model, there is my layer. Okay, so that was it. That was it. These are the two ways that you can actually use those two programs. As you saw, they are not that complicated. Basically, the only things that you can change are here. It's 5 things, and they are not that weird. Like you can change the width or the height of the print, of the thickness, or the thickness of your frame, like that. Like if I change the thickness, it goes like that. If I change the depth, it goes like that. So basically, there's not much to change. Of course, what I did say is that you can change also the image design, so you can make it. You can change the luminance. So you have a photo editor also here. You can change the brightness, the contrast, and you can have, let's say, different types of images. And yes, so there it is. You have also litho that you can use. You have 3D rocks that you can use, and that's it. That's it. These are the 3 questions answered. Now, if you have any questions, any more questions, hopefully we can answer them on the next webinar or other webinars. Or maybe if you want, I can answer you something now.
Hello, thank you. I want to make a question.
Yes.
Maybe you need to cut. Our teacher from our school wants to print in 3D pictures made by the students. Maybe I share with you.
Okay.
And I need to
Can you stop sharing?
Yeah. I need to find the. Yes. Okay, maybe no. Because she sent me a photo.
Miss Rita, can you
Yes.
Can you between doing that, can you also ask the question so I may answer?
Yes. You see the pictures? Me too. This is a picture my colleague sent me and want to know if possible to print in 3D. It's made by students. I understand I need to put in grease scale. It's okay to give the 3D in litho, your program you show us now. It is possible to make something with this type of image.
You can do it with any type of image. So if you have a picture, if you have a photo, whatever you have, you basically go to Google and either use 3D rocks as I went to the site, or either use its litho, import the image to the site like I did with the lion, and you can use whatever type of picture. There is no problem.
Yes, this is imaged by scanner.
No problem.
Not
No
problem.
No
Okay,
problem.
I go try to print.
Yes, there's no problem. If you have it on your PC or in your computer, then you can just drag it to the program inside the program, and you can use that. There's no other thing you need to do, like the way I did before.
Okay, it's possible you put the links from these programs you show us.
Yes.
So, because I want to try. Maybe it is.
Let me. So this is the one. And this is the second one, 3D Pirox. Okay. Anyone else? No? All right. So Thanos?
Okay, thank you, Marco, for your presentation. So Rita, your colleague is going to present another lesson plan from your
I
school.
go to present.
Okay. Okay, so the floor is yours. You can start.
Thank you, Marx. It's very good explanation.
Rita, if I may, sorry for the interruption. You have another device in the place you are talking to us.
Sorry, because we are together in the same room.
I understand. So the other devices must be on mute because we cannot hear you. It's a loud noise and we cannot hear you.
Basically, what will need to happen is that she has to put headphones on because the sound of
made feedback.
Yes,
it comes back.
So everybody else on mute, and then you can talk easily if you don't have a headphone.
They are on mute, but Marco's microphone is not muted. That's why it's echo.
I don't see. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, yeah.
You are on mute, but still this happens. Do you have a set of a headphone in the office? No. So you need to mute your device, not your microphone. So the sound doesn't come out from the speakers.
My colleague
the laptop.
Just lower the sound of the PC. Lower the sound of the PC and start talking.
Tirar o som. Porque continua a fazer. Tirar as colunas.
Mute your device.
Tirar as colunas. Continua a falar e faz eco.
Because it's impossible for us to hear, Rita.
Yes, it's for me to speak too. My colleague Teresa are try to.
I understand, yes.
As colunas não estão desligadas. Ok, qualquer coisa.
Is it a laptop or is it a desktop?
Now is okay.
Now it's fine, yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, maybe you want to see. Okay, you need to take the monitor from the computer to.
Yes, yes. If that was a
We don't understand.
great idea. Nice. Thank you, Rita. Thank you.
Yes, because another days my colleague did not make. I don't understand today, but oh, sorry, I out the process. I don't know what happens today.
All good, all
I
good.
want to say thank you to Marcus. I like much the explanations because I'm very happy to begins to print 3D, and I are some duds now where we print. We are appears new duds to put. Today I goes to present some things we are make for the new lessons, and we are in C2, and this week we are in our school the partnerships from Estonia and from Protoporia in this week in our schools, and we are to testing new lessons. I go share with you. Where is my presentation? I think it's here. Sorry. I hope you see my presentation. Okay, the new lessons we are make some things to geography. We print maps. I don't know. You see, we use image. The programs we are learning in the 8th webinar. About the maps and the contour. In this one is from Portugal maps, and another is a place, a city near in this reentrance here. Is Peniche, is a city. It's a geographic configuration, very particular. And in this lesson, the teacher is not me, because it's another teacher from geography, made on STEAM lesson with different types of coast littoral of Portugal. This is one of the 2 pieces we print. We want to print more, but are some problems with the not see very well the definition of the coast. I think is a problem we need to resolve. But this is very good impressions. It's our new printer. This printer is this printing is by Fastway, but it's very good quality. And I think our teacher we print more time, and our school likes much the quality of these 2 pieces. From the geography of new lessons teams. And another is I print about one photo is not so good because the quality of the photo is not so good too. Is to a new lesson about the sounds, the propagation of the sound, the waves, sound waves make like this in space. When found obstacle, some wall or some object, return, and this the returning waves. And the students wouldn't understand better how is the propagation of the waves. In this lesson, we use 3D printer, but we use some another this class like diapason who feel the vibration of the sounds too. Another things we print, another new lessons is animals, insects. Oh, sorry, insects. It's from our colleague from Estonia. these insects. I don't know. Okay, something here is used with the students, and the students don't see anything. It's the first time to see how is like a spider or another insect, because it's alive. If it touches, some is so small or so fragile, it's destroyed with hands. And here it's possible to take and see the legs, how many legs are the spider. It's very interesting and very communication by the students, very happy. And the students who see likes much too, because touch in different ways, different different from pictures, because the our volume and it's possible to touch in different way. This is the 3D we print, and this first, and this from the right. I put squared, but I don't. The next time I don't put, because it's not need. We don't take the support because the legs is so fragile, and maybe to touch broken. It's why we stay with the support. All the spider, the buff, and this another. Yeah, I don't know in English the name. Tick. In are because these are very interesting ways to show the students the format, because tick is very small one, and sometimes it's very difficult to see, and this is possible to see the teeth the animal. It's very good to see some details.
So Rita, you have used brim just to keep the legs of the tick well printed, right?
Yes.
Yes. Do you know that you can, after the print, you can remove the brim? It's very
yes,
easy.
yes, yes.
Okay,
you know, it's possible, but because it's so fragile, and
Yes.
for the students touch better, we stay with the bridge.
Okay,
but
okay, I understand. Yes, because they were going to
because it
manipulate
is,
the object.
yes, this part to the body is very, very fine, very fragile. If you are remove the support, I think is maybe broken and not possible
For the students to touch it, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
but
okay, I understand.
This card, it's possible to print not need card, because we print another and not need. It's okay.
Okay, yes.
But
thank
you know, it's possible to take out this part.
Mhm.
It's possible to take, but we stay because it's more easy. Many students touch to possible to touch better, not broken, because
Okay, I understand.
the
Yes.
legs in this object is very, very difficult to put more bigger, because
And the purpose of this this lesson was to make differences between insects and arachnids. And arachnids have 8 legs, and insects only 6 legs. So this visually impaired students just needed to count the legs to make differences in
Okay,
which classification this.
Yes,
Not insects all, but this animals are. So that's why we
Well-
did got this supports away from there.
Well, it's a very great idea to represent the bugs. I haven't thought about it. And of course, the supports and the brim can help to retain the structures, and the students can easily manipulate these objects without breaking them. And the next student can take it and see it also. Very, very good job.
And for
This
us,
was
this
great.
level up could be that when the next lesson will be about the insects and about the arachnids, how they looks like, or how they are in real life, then we need to remove everything what is not belonging there. So then they get
Okay.
realized image from these
Mhm.
insects. Yeah.
Okay. Great job. Thank you very much.
But we don't finish because we make more things. We are another lesson with flowers.
This lesson was about how flowering plants reproducing themselves, because in Estonia we have lots of nature and we have also outdoor classrooms in the nature, and we really do this observation and this field work, and with visually impaired students it's not so easy to do, and for them it's the onlyest possibility that we made it today. We have one boy from Greece, from Protoporia, very nice guy, Janos.
Yes.
So Janos, yeah.
Yes.
And this lesson with him was great opportunity for us, because in Estonia we have very small school and we don't have actually so blind students, or we have only with low vision, and we want to prepare us for this kind of students, because otherwise these families need to move to the mainland, because on the island we don't have this kind of schools, and we want to include them in normal schools. So that's why we are doing this kind of lessons, and nature education and nature science, it's very important part in Estonia from STEM lessons. So these models are very good to teach visually impaired students these flower parts, which parts are female parts, which are male parts, and how goes this pollination and which parts you need for pollination. And it was very interesting with the Portugal students also here.
Yes.
It was great opportunity to test how it really works.
And it's good because in 3D is more resistant, the leaves, the parts of the flower, because it's a real flower, the ends broken, not possible to see so many details.
And we have direct feedback from Janos, and he was very happy.
Yes,
he had never this opportunity to get image from flower or
insect. This
yes.
First time it's touch and understand how is the insect.
And it was all as a group work, because other students were had just low vision or were normal students, and they needed to describe what they see. When I made a presentation, then these visually impaired students can't see what I say, what I have on the photos, and students with normal vision, they were like translators, and they described what is on the photo, so that Janos could touch these parts on the model, what I show on the photo. So it was a great opportunity for me also to make this kind of experience here.
And we print more, but this I print again because it's in another printer is not so good quality. But now in this moment I'm printing, not finished to, maybe it's finished, we don't have time to cut the flower, because print at this flower again, because not very good.
But it was a good for today, because here are all flower parts, and these female parts and male parts, and Janos got the idea.
Yes,
what
and
the
another
look
students
like.
see.
Yeah.
And the students touch many touch in the flower, it's not broken, it's very resistant flowers. It's another thing. I think is finished. But I want to share another thing. It's about our C2 training. Here I need to prompt to put again, because I need to share something. How many things to close? Not this. Eerste keer, Teresa. Padlet. Yeah. We are make Padlet from C2, and each day we go make publications of our activities. I go share with you. Next good way. Oh my God, what I do?
Yeah.
Yes, here. Okay, I will share with you. Where is yeah. This is the things the students put, some cultural activities. And this first day we make a different presentation of our city in our region. We made sensorial testing, some food and some flavors, and the students testing many things to and try to know where this made sweet, salty drinks and foods.
Yeah, when you can't see, then you need to smell and
yes,
taste.
and this sensorial things is very important for the people who are low vision or don't see anything, because the flavor is more intense, more capacity, and the tactile too, the text of the things, and the flavors. This is our first day. Some different things. And it is in final of the day is a recreative activity for dancing inclusive for the people who don't see or low vision or another problem, because it's a class of dance include all people who wants to like dance, and it's free. All who wants to dancing, it's not possible to go to school of dance because sometimes it's very expensive. It's possible to go one time of week to this space to and dancing and make a different experience, and all is included in this thing.
There were blind people with Down syndrome, autistic people.
Yes.
So everybody was were included and invited there.
The second day, geography is some
Worksheet
in the final of the lesson. I are not put photos because my phone not take photos last day, and we put more photos. And this is the final day was to see the ocean in the Atlantic Ocean. And this is from today lessons. The first lesson with the sounds. Okay. It is. I don't know if you want to ask some things more.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Nobody.
you.
I think if somebody are speaking, we don't listen anything.
Okay, thank
Oh,
you.
everything's
Thank you for the
okay, yeah.
presentation.
Okay.
Very nice work, very interesting. I hope you are enjoying 3D printing in your school.
Yes, I'm very excited with 3D printing.
We have also,
yes.
it's too dark, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's too dark.
You need to close.
No, it's too dark, yeah. We had the geographic lesson combined with mathematics.
Yes, difficult to see.
Yeah, we had 2 islands, one Hiiumaa where we are living, and the other big island is Saaremaa in Estonia. And the students needed together then measure and make
yes,
calculating distances and the highest point and lowest point, and it was quite interesting lesson. But we have this from Estonia, and they are so dark you can't see them.
Yes. Maybe
Okay.
maybe
No,
I
it's okay, I think.
change the filter. It's possible. Onde é que se tira isto? Onde é que se tira?
Let it be, because we need
Oh,
to go on. I
yes,
think,
yes.
yeah.
Maybe we
Yes,
after
yes,
Make photos.
photos and
yeah.
put there. Okay.
yes, photos, it's better.
Yes.
So do you have any question? Is there any participant that would like to ask something else? Now the time is approximately 8
Yeah, a
o'clock.
question, Thanos, because I received an email, but I think this colleague did not are today in the webinar. Send me email, ask me where the deadline to send the lessons and the 3D printed work. It's from a school in Portugal. We know the deadline to finish to.
Mhm.
we-
I think this is something that we have to discuss as a consortium.
Okay. It's better we speak and for information of all the partners who want
Yes,
to
yes.
send your.
And we can
Oh.
inform all participants at the next last webinar.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, you're welcome. So I upload again a PDF file with the links of all evaluation forms and the questionnaires, if there is any questionnaire for a webinar. It's a PDF. You can see in the chat that it is uploaded there. So you can find all links for all webinars so far, from the first webinar until today's webinar, the 13th webinar. You can find all the links there. And if you have missed any evaluation form or any questionnaire, please complete it. And in 2 weeks, we will have our last webinar answering your next questions about 3D printing. So thank you another one time for being with us, for spending your evening in this webinar. And we are waiting and hoping to see you in the
Thanos.
last webinar. Yes, Rita?
I want to ask when we know we fill every questions evaluation, because I think I make all, but I don't know sure it's missing some.
Okay, then we should okay, then we should send a list to all participants with their name concerning who has completed its evaluation form or its questionnaire.
Okay,
We will
it's important.
generate these statistics, and we will send a mail to all participants.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you too. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice
Bye-bye.
evening.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Καλό βράδυ.